Hey guys, this is Mr. H. Hey, I'm back. This is the second video. The first one I showed you how to store. This one I'm going to show you how to graph. By the way, if you didn't watch that other one, you should watch it. You should have multiple ways to solve these kind of problems. So you should know how to store. You should also know how to graph. So if you didn't watch that, go back and watch it. I'm going to put a link up here so you can click on that and go watch it, but you should watch both. So now let me go back. And by the way, I didn't say in the last video that the answer was number 4, but I was assuming that you would see that the answer is number 4, but I should have made that explicit. But now I am going to do the same question, but I'm going to graph it. Now, the one thing I want you guys to understand is I'm going to come up here and I'm not going to enter this again. I'm just going to copy it. So if I do Control C, I'm copying that. So now I'm just going to go here. And this time I'm going to use the graphing feature, and I can do Control V, and it puts that expression that I copied in here, and all I have to do is press enter, and you can see it's a quadratic. We expected it to be a quadratic, right? So now what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go back and I'm going to enter all 4, even though we know what the answer is, I'm going to enter all 4 of those, and I'm going to show you how you figure out which one is the answer. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go, let me go to this new screen. I am going to go here, and I'm going to enter this first one, x squared plus x minus 4. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to enter it as a function. So I press tab, and then I'm going to enter that. So it's going to be x squared plus x minus 4, and then press enter. There it is. You can see those two quadratics don't match, so you know that's not the answer. They don't match. They're not equivalent. All right, so keep it moving. Go to the next one. I'm going to put in x squared minus x minus 7. Press enter. Those don't match either. The blue one is the original one. The black one, they don't match, so they're not equivalent. They're not equivalent functions. All right, so now I'm going to do the third one. So I'm going to press tab, and then I'm going to put in x squared plus 7x minus 4, and I press enter. And now this one is closer, but it still doesn't match. So it's not the answer. They're not equivalent graphs, so they can't be equivalent functions. Now, so we already know from the last video that 4 is the answer, but I'm going to go through it. So we got x squared plus 7x, and then we got minus 7, and I press enter. Now notice, the blue one is now green. You don't see the blue one, and you shouldn't, because this one is the equivalent function, and so it overlaid the blue one. So when the color changes to another color, it's saying, hey, it overlaid that other one. But here is what you should actually do. Now, you shouldn't look at the colors and go, even though you can use that, the best way to test it is you're going to look at the table. And if the tables are identical, then you can assume that the functions or the expressions are identical. So I'm going to do this. If you do Control T, it's going to give you a table. But the problem with this is that you can only see 2 things at a time. The best thing is to be able to see all of the outputs and the inputs. So you can do that. So what you're going to do is, now you have to be over here where you have the worksheets. But if you do Control and then the number 6, it creates the table with everything in there. So let me see. I am going to pull this over so that you can see everything. So here you go. Here's the first one. Here's the second one. Here's the third one. Here's the fourth one. There's another one over here that you can't see. So I'm going to try to get them all on the same screen. So let me see. I'm going to go over here. What I'm going to do is I think I can pull these. Yeah, there you go. You can grab on this. You can come here and you can, well, I got to get out of this. All I'm doing is trying to make this so that you can see the entire table. And I'm struggling right now. Which is why I kind of voted for the store feature, but you can, if you like to graph, this will work too. But for some reason, I'm struggling trying to make, here we go. I think I can grab this now. There you go. Dang it. I still need to do one more. There you go. Now that was a little bit of work, but you can see everything on the table. You can see the original, you can see the first one, the second one, the third one, the fourth one. Now all you have to do is look at the outputs. These are the inputs, and here are the outputs. 1, 11, 23, 37. Look over here. 1, 11, 23, 37. Just looking at the outputs, it's obvious which one of these expressions or which one of these functions are identical. Number 1 and number 5. So you can store, you can graph, it doesn't matter. Whichever one you're comfortable with, use it. But we got to get these questions. We cannot miss these types of questions. Now, let me go back to this. The answer was this one. Now, I'm going to put in my plug for store. I personally, on the multiple choice section, I would use store. But if you like to graph, you can graph it. The only issue is if this expression had more variables, if it had a y and if it had a z, this would not, we wouldn't be able to graph it, but we would still be able to store it. We would just store a number in for x, we'd store a number in for y, and we'd store a number in for z, and we could still use this technique. But if this were graphing, the graph wouldn't be able to handle the y and the z, but the storing, you definitely can. So you can, if it's just one variable, you can use storing, you can use graphing, but I believe storing is a better option. But whatever you use, we've got to get these questions right. We cannot only have 48% of our students getting these questions right. It needs to be 90 to 100%. All right. I hope I've convinced you that these kind of questions we got to get, and you can store or you can graph. All right. I'm going to sign off and post this.